online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody. You are watching and listening to AFTERBUZZ TV Spotlight On. I'm Jason Ikeler. Before we get started today, we want to make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel right down there. Leave your comments. We'll respond to you. And if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, welcome. If you want to participate in the conversation today, we're using the hashtag Spotlight On because we've got a very special guest from final season of Glee. Finneas O'Connell is here.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we talk about Glee and music and everything, we're going to start you off with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You just got to say the first thing that pops in your head.
Gotcha.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Last concert you went to?
Bad Sons.
Any good?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
First thing you do before you go to bed at night?
First thing I do before I go to bed?
Yes.
I'm just like always on
your phone?
YouTube, just watching people fall over. Yeah.
Okay. That's your thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hilarious every time.
I think that is. It never gets old. Okay, driving or walking?
Driving.
Are you a good driver?
I love driving.
You were raised in LA, so you have to
It's
really
aggressive.
love driving to like driving in LA.
It's true. Yeah, it's far everywhere. Yeah, it's awesome.
Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Always?
I love Twitter and Instagram. I love that I can talk to people on Twitter, but I just like seeing people on
And you
Instagram.
said your Instagram's blown up since Friday's
I
Glee
mean,
premiere?
yeah, it's been nuts. I had like 100 followers before we started.
Now we're over 1,000?
Yeah.
Those Gleeks will get you.
Yeah,
Okay,
love
song you're most embarrassed to admit is on your iPod.
Yeah, this just came up on my shuffle the other day while I was driving around with my girlfriend, the Sesame Street theme song.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did that get there?
I have no idea, but it's there. I don't know. It must have been
You
like
can
a
do a
thing
cover
that I
of
had to. I don't know. I had to get it at some point. It's on there.
Favorite junk food?
Lay's barbecue potato chips.
Those are good.
Yeah.
The baked ones or the regular?
Regular ones.
Regular. Okay.
Yeah.
And since we're both Kesha fans, favorite Kesha song?
Past Lives or Gold Trans Am. Both.
Oh, those are both really
fantastic
good ones.
songs. Yeah.
Kesha, you're
them.
welcome. Let's talk about when you started sort of acting and singing. I knew you were in the LA Children's Choir at one point.
Yeah. I grew up here in Los Angeles, which is sort of rare.
Yeah.
Actually, of like actors at this point. Didn't used to be when I was like, little. All the little kids were here from here, but as you get older, they're not anymore. But yeah, I always loved singing, and my parents are super musical, and it was just sort of like, some families like do sports together, and they're all like baseball people.
Yeah.
We're all like music people, so like that's sort of like the thing that we've always done together. Like someone would be playing the piano and the other person would be singing. It's just like always like that. Like when you're driving in a car with your parents and you're little, like everyone's singing. Like that was like the
That's just your thing.
Right, like the Von Trapps or whatever.
That's funny, the Partridge Family.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
Was working in the entertainment industry always your only option, or did you ever want to do anything else?
It was the only thing I was like moderately good at.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm terrible at like anything academic. Like I'm completely right-brained. Like no logic left-brain thing at all. Yeah.
You don't need it.
No, I don't think so.
Was there one singer or artist that you looked up to as a kid?
I was obsessed with the Beatles. My dad that was like the main classic. I feel like if your parents are, parent age, if they didn't have you super young, they're like, you got to listen to like Zeppelin and the Beatles and Paul Simon. So like the Beatles, all three of those were huge, but Beatles especially, just like their harmonies and everything was awesome. Yeah.
And did you always want to sort of do acting along with the music, or did that just...
I'm like a performance junkie. Like,
okay.
I love being on stage or being anywhere where I get to like be crazy and perform. Yeah, it's awesome.
What was the first play you did?
That's like a really good question. I did a play in when I was like little in a class of kids with it was like about like Greek myths.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a modern like I remember playing like whatever Hades or something, like God of the Under. Was awesome. Yeah.
You've come so far. Look at you now.
Thank you.
And
I was wearing
so,
a top hat that whole show.
You should bring that back. So when did you book your first role?
First role I booked was in a film called Bad Teacher when I was 12.
Oh, like with Cameron Diaz?
Yeah,
like, no big deal.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was one of those things where I didn't really understand what that meant at the time, you know, and especially my parents are both actors, and if your parents are not actors, I think they're more excited about you wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
And if your parents are actors, they're like, do you really want to be an actor? Because it's, you know, it's mostly just getting told no.
No.
Like every job you get's like 40 auditions that you went on that they're like, no. And that's a good ratio. But Bad Teacher was fantastic. And there's so many kids that were in that are like
doing stuff now.
So great now. Like Caitlin Deavers in Justified, Men, Women, and Children, and Short Term 12, just like the best person. And you know, Noah Monk was in that. Like I remember that was like the first, like I was starstruck by him like more than anyone else. Like Cameron Diaz was there, and Justin Timberlake, but like Gibby from iCarly was there, and I was like, that's Gibby. Like that was like a
no
big
way,
deal.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
How many auditions did you go on before you booked that?
Like a solid year, like a whole year of just going to auditions, and I kind of, I mean, auditions are not like joyous experiences.
No.
I mean, if you've been on some, right? It's like you go and wait in like a cold room with a bunch of other people. Sometimes it's raining outside. Like the only day it ever rains in LA is the day you have to drive to Ventura to do an audition. Yeah. But just kind of that was such a new experience at the time, and I was so young that was like, even that was like really exciting. And I try to think about that whenever I'm going on an audition, that that's still really exciting.
Yeah.
That you're going to, you know, do that for people like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So then you were on some other big shows, Modern Family.
Yeah, I've gotten to do. I'm actually, I don't know if this is like known widely, but I'm 2 different characters on Modern Family.
Oh.
I was on like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then they brought me back as a completely different character.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I remember auditioning for the second character because the first character was just like a 1 episode. I was in a band with Arlo Winter, the younger daughter, and then I got an audition for the character later, and I was like, well, I better not tell them that I was like
on the show
already. And in the casting office for the show, they have pictures of everyone that's ever been a guest star on the show. And my picture was on the wall. And I was like auditioning as a different character. I had really long hair now, and I had short hair at the time. So I was like, who's that? Like, I didn't
that's
know.
Funny.
Yeah.
Do they? I'm sure they know now. Did you tell them afterwards?
They all remembered me. Like, the casting director was like, oh, it's nice to see you again. I was like, is this okay? Like,
I'm coming back as somebody else.
I exist already in this made up universe. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's funny.
So obviously you're on Glee now. Tell me how that all came about.
Yeah. I think the story behind most people being on Glee is that they auditioned for many different characters over the years. The original, you know, group of people that were in the choir and on the show, I think, you know, they started, but anyone that's come on since, you know, was auditioning then, and I was 11 years old when the show started. But I've auditioned for the show 5 different times as different characters, and this was when I got this audition, I honestly was like, oh, like another audition, and it was like, I always feel like I get the parts that I don't think about, like it's not even like in a realm of like thinking that I would get it, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I hope I get this. And it was just like I'd auditioned so many times and not gotten anything.
You're just
for
like,
Glee,
whatever.
Like, cool, I get to audition again, fun. And I went and my agent called me like 2 days later, and I missed the phone call, and then she was like, they want you to be on the show. And I was like, I flipped out. Yeah.
In the last season, that's obviously even cooler. What was the vibe like on set since they are wrapping up?
It was pretty awesome. I mean, one of the cool things about this season is they brought on these 5 new characters at the beginning of the season, and I think that's been great just to have that kind of new energy. You know what I mean? It's like, I think everyone's still like eternally grateful for the show, but it's good to have people that are seeing things for the first time and, you know, walking around the Paramount lot, like, you know, looking at how crazy it all is. You know what I mean? Everyone else has been there for a long time, and everyone was super wonderful and welcoming and fantastic. And then as we went on and filming and it got closer and closer to the end, people just cried more and more. Yeah.
It's kind of emotional though, because I feel like people grow up with Glee.
Totally. And like most of the cast members like grew up on Glee.
Yeah.
Like they were like 17 or 18 when they started, and now they're like 25. It's crazy. Yeah.
And talk to me about the schedule for Glee, because those are like the hardest working kids in the industry.
It is a beast of a show. I mean, it's such a fun experience, but it's like you work really hard on that show. And I always joke that like, if you're an actor, you know, if you're lucky enough to be an actor and like work on shows, you know, you gotta like go to the gym a lot, because there's craft services where they have like, you know, terrible food for you, and I mean, like, it's good food, but it's terrible for you. And but on Glee, it's, you know, 3-hour dance classes for the performances and recording sessions. So a typical shoot day is like, you know, 12 to 14 hours, which is, you know, and it's not 12 to 14 hours of like sitting there. It's usually 12 to 14 hours of dancing and singing
and moving.
Yeah, there's like in between takes, the makeup people come up with fans, and you just like point a fan at yourself, and, like, just sweat and breathe. Yeah, it's fun.
And you were telling me before that you'll get your script like the day of.
The script writing process on that show is very last minute. It's pretty chaotic. It's kind of great because you're not sitting on things for a long time, and it allows them to write about really current stuff and make super funny pop culture references, which is great because they're referencing something that came out like 2 days ago. But we'll typically get the script delivered to our house like the day before we start shooting the episode. Wow. Yeah. They typically started on like a Wednesday, and we'd get scripts on Tuesday. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it was really immediate.
And then what about the songs?
The songs were about the same time. Sometimes they'd have the song picked out. Sometimes, the episode hadn't been finished yet, and they'd pick the songs out later. And they would, when they pick out a song, they record all the instrumentals for it, and they send it to you to listen to, and then you go and record it, and then do the dance rehearsal, and then film yourself doing the dance and singing the song. So it's all like really quickly, like.
And that sounds like very exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like I don't feel like anyone noticed that they were tired until it was like over.
Okay.
And then everyone just slept for like 4 days. Like when you're in
and
it,
then you
you're
come
just
back
like,
and do it again.
Yeah, when you're in it, you're like going, and then when sectionals is over, you're just like you're just wiped out. Yeah.
Are there any like funny behind the scenes moments you can talk about?
Okay, so the first day back after Christmas break, I had the big scene that I have in the episode is when Spencer's character comes in and finds me like on the piano playing ukulele in that first episode. And it's like that's like the main scene that I have in the episode.
Yeah.
I worked really hard on that. And walking to set, they drive you around on golf carts everywhere on Paramount because it's a big set.
Yeah.
And I walked straight into a golf cart and immediately cracked my head open. And we went to rehearse the scene and was just like dripping blood, just like
oh my God.
down my face in the scene. And we're doing this super romantic scene. Me and Marshall are like this close to each other, and he's just like, you're bleeding.
You're bleeding all over.
Yeah. So that hat I'm wearing in that scene is like dual purpose, like fashion statement, and also like covering a wound.
That's crazy. And talk to me about your character, because obviously Glee paved the way for LGBT characters on TV. Yeah. Did you feel pressure going into it?
I wanted to do it justice in the way that the character had been written, and what I really liked about the character was that I felt that it was speaking to what kind of modern sexuality is, which is, should be normalized. And I think that the fact that his character and Spencer's character, like, they're stressed out, the stress is on the fact that they're just regular, and I think that's everyone is, but I feel like that's awesome to me that they just happen to be gay, but they're mostly just a character. The things that you know about him are like, he has long hair, he reads Kurt Vonnegut and J.D. Salinger and plays the ukulele. Like, those are all just like character traits, and then he's interested in guys and not girls. You know what I mean? Like, and so is Spencer. So I wanted to kind of underplay it in a certain sense. Like, I have a lot of gay friends, and I just wanted to kind of, no one's like, there are caricatures of everything, but, it's just a different orientation. There's not really any difference otherwise.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the show socially has made such a huge impact.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great. I love the idea that, I think everyone 100% of the time feels like they don't fit in. I think if you feel like you fit in, you're the odd one out.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, you're weird. If you feel like you fit in, you're not ordinary, because that's remarkable to feel like you fit in. Yeah, I'm great. Like, everyone's I'm always like, is this right?
What's going on?
And I love that about Glee, that every character is like, that's the way we all are. Just sort of like, is this what are we?
What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you give us any insight as to what's going to happen with Alistaire in the next 2 or 3 episodes?
Yeah, it's been. I don't want to sort of. I think I'll get in trouble. But he, at the end of the first episode, he joins the Glee Club, and he gets to be involved in Glee Club for sectionals and stuff. And it was such a fantastic experience. And it's really the show choir coming together as a choir for the first time this season. Because they're sort of stragglers. At the beginning, there's like 5 members, and you have to have 12 to be in the sectionals. Yeah, you have to have, that's like the minimal amount. So they're climbing up there to that number. So it's pretty exciting to see the whole choir come together and
that's
really
fun.
Be a unit. Yeah.
And talk to me about some of the interactions you've had with the Glee fans since Friday.
The Glee fans have been fantastic. They've been so wonderful and so supportive. And I was really nervous because I was joining their world. fans of anything are the reason that thing exists. You know, after the first couple episodes, you can make 3 episodes and the fans are like, you get canceled. Yeah, right, exactly. So, you know, to have a show last this long, I mean, it belongs to the fans. So it was hard to sleep at night for a couple of days before that. I was just like really
what if they hate me? Yeah, that's
exactly.
Scary.
And that's, you know, that's okay. Like I'd be like, oh, bummer. You know, I mean,
damn it.
Right, but they've been really excited about it, and I think the message that character and his relationship with Spencer is sending, I think that it's being really well received. That it's just like a high school romance. Like it's not like they're gay. It's just like a high school romance, and it's between 2 guys. And I think
which is cool, even in like the overarch of the show.
Yeah.
To see how it started, and then now it's just portrayed as so normal is really cool.
Yeah, and it's like I kind of love that there's not more made of it. It's not more of a controversy. It's just like these are 2 kids. You know what I mean? Which is awesome. Yeah.
So in addition to Glee, you also have a band, the Slightlies.
That is true.
You guys met at Battle of the Bands?
Yeah, we met at a Battle of the Bands together. We were in 2 separate bands.
Okay.
We were really young. We were like 14, and the drummer in the other band, David, was like fantastic, and he decided that to get to know everybody, he would just make cookies and like hand them out. Which is like,
that's cool.
I think the older you get, the less okay it is to just take a cookie that someone offers you. But at 14,
you're just like, whatever, it's a cookie.
Cool. And we met, and I remember seeing their band that day, like the other members, and thinking like they're really good. And they watched our band, and they resonated with us too. And neither of us won. Like we didn't even place. Like both our bands totally lost. And then we formed a band. And we came back to the same contest a year later, and we won first place.
Oh, that's like, cool.
Okay, good. This feels right. Yeah, it's great.
And I know we came into your song, but for everybody that hasn't heard, kind of describe the sound of the Slightlies.
Yeah, our joke about our genre is that we're pop and roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of like a teenage stigma against pop in a lot of cases, and like my favorite artist is like Kesha, and I love that kind of like just super like bubblegum like synth pop. And then, you know, I was raised on like, you know, Arctic Monkeys, you know, rock and roll stuff. So I liked to bridge
kind of a mash of the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it hard to balance? Because I know you were saying when you got Glee, you go and you film the next day.
Yeah.
Is it hard to balance maintaining your status in a band and doing acting and all that other stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act. I think you really can do everything, but you certainly can't do it all at once.
Yeah.
You know, it was when I booked the show, I mean, you know, sort of luckily for the band, it had an end date because the show finishes, right? This is its final season. So I kind of had to call the members and be like, I'll be busy for a while, but it's okay.
But it will help us.
Because then people will watch our videos and stuff. Yeah. So we're really excited. We're going to the studio in April to record an EP, which we're super excited about. Yeah. Should be awesome.
And then you have a movie coming out as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Life Inside Outside.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So Life Inside Out is a film. It comes out April 21st.
Life Inside Out, not outside.
Right, Life Inside Out.
Got
Did I say Life Outside
I said it.
Okay, good. Life Inside Out is a film about a mother and her son. And the mother is going through kind of a midlife crisis. And her son, she has 3 children. And her 2 older sons kind of feel content. Like we were talking about people that feel different. Like they don't really feel, they're like, you know, pretty happy with their lives. And they're doing all right. And they play sports. And they fish with their dad, and the youngest son does not fit in.
Okay.
And kind of hasn't found his thing yet. And his mom used to play guitar when she was super young, but kind of gave that up when her mom died and had to take over the family business, and reconnects with music later in life. And the son sort of takes interest in that and sort of discovers that music's the thing that he loves, and they bond over that and start performing at open mic nights. And it's a pretty cool script. It's all original material, like music wise. All the songs that I sing, I play the son, and all the songs that I sing I wrote myself.
Oh wow.
All the songs that my mom sings she wrote herself. It's rad.
And then your band has a couple songs on the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, it was
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I was all over that movie.
You're like, let me give you this, let me give you this.
I think the honest truth to our band, the band being in it, was that it was free to put our music in that.
Oh, like, yeah, that's cool.
It's expensive to pay, like, you know, big artists to do it, but we were like, yeah, well, it's exposure.
We'll take it.
Right, exactly.
Is there, you've had your songs in a couple TV shows. Is there one show that you'd love to like write a song for?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm obsessed with New Girl.
Oh, okay.
I love that show, and
I can hear your music.
I'd
on
love
that.
to have them play like a game of True American to that, to like a song about.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And dream guest role on any TV show, because you've been on a lot of them.
That is so tough. I just said New Girl, but I think I'd have to say New Girl
as well.
They make me laugh every week. Yeah,
you can have an actor and a song. It sounds like a good deal
I do
for
it
them.
completely for free. Like,
oh, perfect.
I'd pay you guys like money to be on
Please.
That. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
So
nice
Life Inside Out is out April 15th.
April 21st.
April 21st.
Yes.
Gotta update their website.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Oh,
It's okay. We got this. And then Glee is Friday nights on Fox.
Yes.
And where can we find more from you? Your Twitter, your Instagram?
I'm on Twitter, Finneas O'Connell. I'm on Instagram at Finneas O'Connell. I'm on Facebook. You can friend me on Facebook. I'm everywhere. Yeah.
Perfect. You can be his actual friend.
Yeah. I don't have one of those likable pages yet. Just like
it'll come. Give it time.
I'll just accept your friend request.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming in today. If you guys want more from me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Jason Ikeler, and you can find AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at AfterBuzz TV. We will see you guys in here next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.